Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. Special guest, Abby Martin is here from the Empire Files. Hi, Abby. How are you?
Hey, what's going on?
Fantastic. And we're going to talk about immigration. And it's a lot happening today. President Trump signing an executive order that's supposed to keep immigrant families together. But what people, and what, of course, the focus of this show is to tell you how we got here, right? So a lot of people just want to go, oh, Trump is a problem. Trump is a symptom of a problem. And a lot of the people who are opposing him are part of that problem. For instance, this immigration problem that we're having right now, separating families, the apparatus for this was set up during the Obama administration. ICE was invented after 9/11, and it was put under the auspices of the Department of Homeland Security. So what does that do? That now they treat immigration like a terrorism problem, which it's not. We showed you on the Kamala Harris video, she said we need to have ICE because immigrants commit murders and rapes, somebody has to prosecute. There's already cops. We already have police, FBI, we have all sheriffs and everything that can investigate a murder or a rape, and they catch the person, they prosecute them, and then they deport. You don't need this ICE. It's just invented. And Barack Obama ramped it up. So here, Michael Tracy tweeted this out, and he said this 2017 report comprehensively details widespread use of family separation as a matter of policy pre-Trump. While Trump has added his own variant, it's willful ignorance to pretend that this was not a regular feature of the U.S. immigration policy before. And then he links to this part of the report. And it's a report, it's a government report, judiciary.senate. And this is what it says. As a matter of procedure and policy, border agents routinely separate family members, including intentionally, as punishment or consequences through what the DHS calls its consequence delivery system. These consequences are meant to deter future migration, often regardless of international protection or other humanitarian concerns. The CDS has been implemented, the consequence delivery system, has been implemented systematically since 2005. That's bipartisan. Common examples of CDS, consequence delivery system, examples of CDS include reinstatement of removal, criminal prosecution for an immigration offense, such as recently including Operation Streamline, lateral repatriation, alien transfer, exit program, and Mexican interior repatriation program. So there's that. Just so you know, this has been going on since 2005. And Barack Obama put it on steroids. And here's a little bit more from that report I just want to read to you. These charges are often brought against asylum seekers, even if they request asylum at the border. So most of these kids, by the way, are seeking asylum. So they're not just breaking a law. Oh, they're illegally entering the country. No, they're coming into the country seeking asylum. And guess what? When you give those kids a lawyer, 90% of them get asylum in the United States, which means that they have a right to be here. And Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton and the Democrats and ICE and the Republicans and George Bush didn't honor that. Here's one more thing. Moreover, the CPB employs, that's the Customs and Border Patrol, employs this program universally, even against asylum seekers, which you're not supposed to do, punishing them for returning to the United States for reasons entirely out of their control. So we're going to get to that part later about they're seeking asylum. But I just want you to know that this isn't new, that what we predicted on this show when Donald Trump became president was that he would put an ugly face on the horrible stuff this country's been doing all along for the past 20 years or longer, and then people could then coalesce and fight it. And that's exactly what's happening with this. The problem is the Democrats go along with Trump on all his other crazy shit. The Democrats went along when he deregulated Wall Street. They went along when he ramped up the Pentagon budget, $80 billion. They didn't stand up for DACA. They caved, let him do whatever he wanted. They even offered to build a wall. So for whatever reason, this is the one thing Democrats could come together on, and independents and Republicans of conscience can come together on and oppose Trump on. So this is happening. But this isn't new. This had been happening all along, and I'll prove it to you even more. This is from July 18th, 2016, Mr. Obama's dubious detention centers. This is an editorial from the New York Times in July, right before Barack Obama handed off power to Donnie Tynahan's Trump, who everyone says was a crazy maniac who was going to bring destruction and fascism to America. But then Barack Obama's going to hand over. Well, here's what happens. This is, again, remember, 2016. The family detention centers the Obama administration has been operating in Texas and Pennsylvania have been an expedient way to handle the soaring numbers of Central Americans, many of them young children, who have arrived at the southern border since 2014. They give a sense that Homeland Security has the border situation under control, and they supposedly send a message to other would-be refugees not to come. So that's exactly what Trump has been saying. We're sending a message. That's exactly what the Obama administration was saying. But these privately run, unlicensed lockups are no place for children. This is the New York Times saying this. Or mothers. Their existence belies President Obama's oft-professed concern for the humane treatment of people fleeing crime and violence in Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, which is what they're doing. They're fleeing crime and drug violence, which has been exacerbated by the United States drug war policy. If the Obama administration took its principles to heart, it would be closing its family prisons and abandoning its emphasis on border crackdowns. This is the New York Times telling Obama to stop doing this crap in 2016. In favor of what? What should he be doing instead of putting people in prison and having a border crackdown? Well, instead, he should be making greater efforts to connect Central Americans with pro bono lawyers and to provide family and community-based alternatives to detention. Barack Obama did not do that. It would be far better to score a humanitarian victory by reuniting children and families, especially since data show that Central Americans with asylum claims are far more likely to show up in court and win their cases when they have lawyers. So this is what the New York Times is saying. Hey, they have a right to be here. They are asylum seekers fleeing horrible situations, and we are supposed to take care of them. And if they get to court and people hear the evidence, a judge hears the evidence, they are granted asylum. These aren't criminals. And they're telling Obama, stop it. Obama didn't. Donald Trump and his Republican Party minions have taken the immigration debate to sickening lows with disgraceful animus towards Mexicans and Muslims. Mr. Obama has forcefully denounced such nativism, but he can add strength to his words by ensuring greater protection for those who arrive defenseless at our southern border, which he didn't. He never added strength to his words by ensuring greater protection for those who arrive defenseless at the southern border. Barack Obama built the infrastructure. Barack Obama built those detention centers on the border where there's cages. Barack Obama did that. And he didn't follow that. So that's why. And then what did he do? He handed it off to Trump, who is now ratcheted it up to another level. Anything to say about this, Abby?
There's a lot to say about it. The ACLU report that's been going around, showing the kids in cages, again, that was during the Obama administration, but that was the CPD. I mean, Customs and Border Patrol is equally as fascistic. I mean, these are people who are raping these young kids, yes. Sexually assault. One of them ran a young girl over with their car. I think the bottom line is, yes, Obama did build this, and this goes back to the Clinton administration, which we should talk about, and the death by deterrence policy at the border, how they funnel people into the most death-defying routes, how children are dying every year. Where's the outrage about that? Children literally dying in the middle of the desert seeking refuge because of our policies predominantly. But I think ICE is ratcheting up to a new level because of this anti-immigrant rhetoric and kind of hostility that's been cultivated and emboldened in the Trump era. And that's what scares me the most. You have ICE staking out hospitals and all of these things to basically do these mass arrests. And they said their jobs are fun now. I mean, we're talking about a Gestapo.
This is like a Gestapo.
This is a Gestapo force that are neo-Nazis, but it doesn't stop with ICE. Again, it's the Customs and Border Patrol that go and destroy the water in the desert being left for these migrants just seeking life and dignity.
Right.
I mean, it's really, really a disgrace, but I just can't stand the hypocrisy. Everyone from Barack fucking Obama himself putting a Facebook note out there saying, this is not the America that I know. Really? Really? Hillary Clinton sending out a donation letter to the Democratic Party saying, this isn't America, guys.
The next live Jimmy Dore show is July 1st in Portland, Oregon, July 15th in Chicago, and July 27th in Burbank, California. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all those tickets to those shows. Plus, don't forget, become a patron to help support independent media. We give you hours of bonus content every week. Plus, every Saturday at 2 p.m., we do our Solid Chat Saturday. It's our live stream on Saturdays, 2 p.m. Pacific time. Stick around for that. And please make sure you're subscribed. Even though you think you are subscribed to this channel, they're unsubscribing people every day. Just check. Click subscribe and then click the bell to make sure they send you a notification when we're dropping videos. Otherwise, they won't tell you. Thanks for your support.